And on this episode of Killing Your Career Before It Even Begins, we have this from Pedestrian. I'm gonna butcher this dude's name, and I don't care. Papa Ezuru signs open letter supporting trans people after J.K. Rowling's controversial post. Now, if you have no idea who this man is, he is now going to be Professor Snape in the Hogwarts TV show. Yeah, you know that Alan Rickman dude? Yeah, this is who they cast to play Snape. So I'm just gonna say this right now. I'm gonna jump in this article in a second, but right now I'm saying this. This show is gonna flop, and I think they're contracted for like 8 seasons, and each season's gonna be a separate book, and it's such a weird it's such a weird idea going into this product because now you have with J.K. Rowling, they're just popping her quotes out there, calling her all these names. So you have that group of people. They're not going to watch this show. And I'm looking at this cast and be like, okay, cool, you lost my business. So who's gonna watch this show? It's almost like when they made the Sebastian Stan Donald Trump movie called The Apprentice. Like, okay, so Democrats aren't going to watch this because it's about Donald Trump, and Republicans aren't going to watch it because it's a movie bashing Donald Trump. So, like, who exactly is your audience here? The 1% of independents. So you have this show here where you have one community pissed off at her and they're not going to watch it, and you have the other community looking at this going, I know this is going to be dog crap. So who exactly is this show for? But we have some. Before we even get into his quotes, I have to get into the person that wrote this. Okay, now, it just shows the absolute biasness of this, whatever this place is. It says, for someone who conceived a fantasy lands and magical spells, Rowling can't quite seem to grasp that trans women are, in fact, women. You know, this might be a controversial take. If you want us to believe that they're women, why are you calling them trans? Shouldn't you just call them women? Wouldn't that say? I mean, if you're telling me, oh, these are actually women, why don't you just call them women then? Why is the word trans there? But yeah, he apparently wrote an open letter. I don't know what exactly that means. He says, film and television are powerful tools for empathy and education. You know, when someone has been inhaling their farts all day, they come up with things like this. I don't, can you imagine saying that film and television are powerful tools for empathy and education? No, they're not. They're for making things that are cool. That's it. And we believe passionately in the ability of the screen to change hearts and minds. Buddy, you are not that important. I'm just trying to think here out of the greatest movies that I've ever seen, like, Godzilla minus one and Mulan and The Mummy and just Hacksaw Ridge and The Patriots and Troy and things like that. I have never once looked at it and said, "Wow, this is a teaching moment for me to learn empathy and education and passion and change. My hearts and minds have been changed by this." No, it wasn't. I watched Brad Pitt storm the beach of Troy and murder everyone with a sword, and I'm sitting there in the theater going, "Wow, this is the coolest thing ever." But again, Mr. Sniffing his farts over here. He goes on to say, "This is our opportunity to be on the right side of history." Hear that, Rollin? Oh, okay. The right side of history. Whenever someone says that, whenever someone comes out and says, we are going to be on the right side of history here, you know they're on the wrong side. It's just such a dead giveaway of, yeah, you know what? Maybe we should be listening to your side. It's the simplest thing. Just exist. But no, 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 no. When you can't be good, this guy is like Shooty Gatwick. This is going to be Shooty Gatwick 2.0, okay? He cannot make it in this industry doing this. And that, you know what? It might sound kind of crazy. Because since it's HBO Max and they hired Bella Ramsey and all that crap, though. He is their built-in excuse. He is the Bella Ramsey of the Hogwarts show. Because now, because of these quotes here, just like I said in a previous video about Bella Ramsey, every single solitary negative criticism, negative critique, YouTube, evaluation of the show, anyone that gives this show, a 0 stars or 1 star on IMDb, this is going to be why. Every single thing is going to get turned into, oh, you don't like this man. You are a racist. You are a transphobe. You are a homophobe. You are on the wrong side of history. That is what's going on with a lot of these castings. Look what Russell T Davies is doing right now. Running damage control with Doctor Who. At no point has he said, yeah, this show is terrible. I did a horrible job. I'm very, very, very sorry. I have screwed this up immensely. I screwed this up for the fans. I screwed everyone that's involved in this over, and I'm deeply sorry. No. Every single thing is damage control calling out the people for not liking it. Because you're an istophobe and a this, that, and the other thing. But he's never saying that we're right and his show is garbage. So that's what's going to happen with Hogwarts. You know what? It's going to be interesting. They're getting some of the casting right. Like, here's a picture right here. And you know what? 5 out of 6 look pretty damn good. 5 out of 6 kind of a win. But that's why he's there. He is there. And how insulting must that be for him? Knowing that that's why they hired you. To be the built-in excuse. To be the squeaky wheel that's going to be, oh, you're going to take the brunt of all of the criticism. I wouldn't be surprised if they sat him down and said, and gave him that diversity talk of, yes, the universe is going to hate you. Everyone's going to hate you, but we like you and we hired you for your ability. Who the hell is this man? Who is he? I have never heard. What a ridiculous name. But moving on here. Here is the final. It's not even a quote from him. It's just the person that wrote this. I'm gonna look them up after this though. But does he even say his name is? But he says, until the reboot arrives, I'm gonna conjure up a spell that makes turfs like Rowling shut the hell up. Isn't it amazing how the people that are constantly calling for unity and acceptance and all that garbage right there, they're always the first ones to come out in anger at you. No. You should not be able to say this. You should shut the hell up. What was the quote before, though? That how does she not realize that trans women are women? Can you imagine saying that? Writing that down, pressing send, and sitting back in your chair going, yep, that line right there. I'm going to rally the internet around me. I've never heard of this site before, but it sounds atrocious. I'm going to look them up later on and see what they got going on here. But more importantly, it says here, he's signed an open letter goes directly against his producer. Since Rowling is serving as the executive producer on the reboot series, which will land in HBO sometime next year. So, let me get this straight. You are sending a letter to your producer of your show. Does he realize that he is beyond expendable at this point? They could just get rid of this guy. Honestly, right now, I know they're not going to do it. HBO Max right now is just they're scrambling at this point. They're trying to figure out what the hell to do. Again, I've said many times, I don't think James Gunn's DC universe is going to pan out the way they want to. This is huge for them. Okay, making a Harry Potter show. This is probably the biggest IP they're ever going to touch, other than DC. I cannot think of anything bigger, more relevant right now than Harry Potter. So now you have the rights to make a TV show. After you made $1 billion, I don't know if WB was involved in it, but after $1 billion Hogwarts game came out, and you're adding so much to the Universal Studios, that's going to be a huge thing when the show comes out. They're going to be merchandise everywhere, but you're going to screw it up. And we know they're going to screw it up. And more importantly, articles like this, they're not helping anyone. Can you imagine for a second just reading this article and then thinking, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go out and support this show? No, you read this and go, wait a second. I'm not a bad person. I know basic biology and basic logic. I'm not a bad person at all, but all of a sudden now, you're calling people TERFs? I don't even know what TERFs mean. I'm old, I guess. I must be very old because I hear all these new acronyms, and I was like, I don't give a shit. I hear these things, I'm like, I don't know what any of these words mean, but honestly, they have no value. They have no value today. Someone called me a Nazi on Facebook the other day. I'm like, that just doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, I get called a Nazi all the time for just the most basic of opinions online. But anywho, back to this article and putting a bow on this thing. This dude's probably not gonna be the next biggest thing in Hollywood. And like I said, 5 out of the 6 castings, they look pretty damn good. They look really, really good. But it ain't gonna work out. And they know it's not gonna work out. And just like the Bella Ramsey thing, this guy here is a guarantee that anyone working on the show is gonna have another opportunity. Because like I said, every single negative criticism, every single negative anything about the show will be directed towards him. And just like Shooty Gatwick and Bella Ramsey, they're taking the brunt of every single bit of criticism, and it's not going to work out for either one of them. All 3 of these people, we're not going to see them as the stars in Hollywood. We know that, right? Like, you're never going to see Shooty Gatwick accepting an Oscar for Best Actor of the Year. We're never going to see Bella Ramsey. I was going to say accepting what award? Best Actor, Best Actress. I don't know which one would she take or get nominated for. Can she take both of them? Is that possible? Then since she's let's think about that for a second, okay? If Bella Ramsey is non-binary, could she technically take both awards, male and female? I don't know. I don't know. But all I know is that Papa, oh my God, how Papa SC Duo over here ain't gonna be taking an award. We are never gonna see this dude as the main star in Hollywood. He's not gonna be dethroning like Denzel or Tom Cruise or anyone like that. He's not gonna be the biggest name in Hollywood. This is gonna be the biggest thing he's ever gonna do. And realistically, I don't think he's gonna make it to the end of this series. I think they're gonna recast him, and they could easily recast if he's bringing negative attention to this show. I mean, look what negative attention did for Hogwarts Legacy. It made it $1 billion. Look what negative attention did to The Acolyte, the number 2 most watched thing on Disney Plus at the time. They canceled it. How crazy is that? You were the second most popular thing on your streaming network. You made a ton of YouTubers a hell of a lot of money making videos about your show. You were one of the most talked about things on social media for the entirety of the show. I think they should bring The Acolyte back. It was so bad that I think you should bring it back. But no, negativity kills all these other all these other woke products. Woke does not survive. Woke's not surviving anymore. So no, this dude's career, I mean, it's crazy. I know nothing about this guy except this. And I'm telling you right now, I don't think he's going to last the show. He's going to get recasted very, very quickly. Ratings go down. Viewership's not good. I mean, the first episode is probably going to make a ton of views because it's going to be out of pure curiosity. But afterwards, I don't think it's going to happen, man. And yeah, what a shot. Oh, I'm going to take a shot at my billionaire producer. Yeah, that's going to work out well. Let me know what you guys think about that.